Hi everyone. Today we are group 2. Today we are going to talk about a case study which is copycat. And our group consists of 5 members: Lim Ziqing, me Gavin Lim, Chua Rui-zi, Tang Zixiang, and Lin Yijing. Before we go into this topic, I would like to give an introduction about this case study. You all should be familiar to copycat because in every part of our lives and some parts of our lives we have experienced it before. For this case study, the person, Mary Jones, an instructor in the English department, was marking her term paper, but she saw some suspiciously familiar things from the paragraph of one of her students' term paper. So she started to investigate further. By entering some words in Google, she found that her student had plagiarized from several sources available in the internet. And when she checked the articles listed in the bibliography, she found more examples of outright unacknowledged copying. So she interviewed the student and reported the incident. And in the end, the student received an official warning and a 0 for the course. This situation is very familiar for us. And we in the group is very familiar to this situation also because we have experienced it before. So from our perspective, our opinion, we are going to answer these following questions. So the first question, what is the ethical issue raised from this case study? The first ethical issue is plagiarism. Plagiarism means to copy another person's ideas, words, or work and pretend that they are your own, said by Hornby AS. It is a very serious problem because we does not really did the work or the research, but we just pretend that others' work is ours. For this situation, the student did not cite, quote, or even give any credit to the ideas, words, and works of the original authors that the student took in the paper he or she did. So this will bring a very big consequences to the student because he had already did a very unethical conduct for the term paper and he or she did not really done any work. So it is considered plagiarism, which in what we have learned is a very unethical conduct. And for another issue raised for this case study is cheating. For this case study, it is very unfair for the other students because they have paid hard work, effort for their papers with their own ideas, works, and even some research. So for the student who had copied from others' authors' work, it is very unfair because he had just put others people's answer to the question in the term paper. And for other students, they have really think and thought about how to answer the question or how to do the assignment. So it's very unfair for other students who had really paid an effort so that they can get a good grade. And it is also considered cheating because the student had cheated the marker, Professor Jones, that it was his own work and idea. And Professor Jones was not informed or known for anything that has done in this term paper. So it is very right for Professor Jones to give a 0 and a warning for the student because he is considered, the student had cheated Professor Jones. So Professor Jones should also give same level of consequences result for the student. And for this aspect, the student did not really answer the paper. Like in our exam, if we did not answer the paper, we get a 0. And for this situation, the student did not answer because he just took answers from other people. And he himself did not give any effort of thinking or thoughts to the question. So the student did not really answer the paper and is considered cheating for like copying others people's answer. And now I'm going to look to the second question. Is there any standards of ethical conducts or social norms or epistemological norms should be emphasized in this study? And there is, yes. The first one is disinterestedness. Disinterestedness is the demands from the scientists to resist the temptations of using improper means, such as fraudulent manipulation of data, in the search for and communication of true knowledge to their own advantage. This means that we should not let personal interest to influence our decision making or any action of our doings. And for this case study, the students had let personal interest, which is to get good grades, influence his result of action, which is to plagiarize others' people's work. So this is very this is a issue for the student and the uh, marker, because the student had made these decisions because he just wants to get good grades and to not know new knowledge from the science aspect. So for a correct way for us to do this term paper, we should have intention so that we should learn new knowledge and to find out the real answer for the questions in the term paper, and not only to get good grades. So this student had already offended one of the social norms. And for the second standard we should emphasize is credit. Credit is a publicly acknowledged to a contributor's role in some production, either a production, a publish, or even a broadcast. Credit here is not given for the student to the work he took from. And for the author, original author, the student took the ideas from, he or she deserves the credit because it can motivate them for doing more research or more experiments so that they can make more better results or more new results for the following or the future. So the author deserves the credit here. And for the student who falsely represents another person's idea or work as his own, is very unethical and is not good for either the author or the student, because the student can face many consequences and the author will feel bad and does not have and this does not promote cooperation and trust between scientists and different researchers. And now I'm going to pass Ziqing for the third question.
Hi, I'm Ziqing, and now let's move on to the third question. For this question is, what are the possible reasons for this student to commit this kind of action? For this question, we have three possible reasons come out that why the student commit this kind of action, which is plagiarism. The first reason is the students wants to score good grades, and so he tried to copy from different sources. Maybe the students was too eager to score good grades in that subject, but he has no idea with his assignment. And so he just copied exactly the information he found from sources, which he thought this can help him to score a good grades. And besides, laziness of the student is the second reason. He don't want to spend his time too much on thinking about the assignment by himself or herself, and thus he or she just copy and paste from different sources. And for the third reason, also there is a probability that the student is not intended to perform plagiarism, but just he do not know the right way to cite the source. Okay, after understanding the three possible reasons for the student to commit action of plagiarism, let's move on to the ways to avoid plagiarism.
Hi everyone, I am Yijing. Now I would like to share about how to avoid plagiarism. The first way to avoid plagiarism is we must understand the context we write. Always not to copy and paste the words from the research sources. When we search something from the sources such as internet, ebook, and newspaper, try to understand the context well first, but not just to copy and paste 100% from the text, but we do not understand the context. We should read, study, and understand the context of the reference sources well before we use it in our paper in order to paraphrase correctly. When we fully understand the context of the sources, we will be able to judge whether the reference text is suitable for our paper or not. When we decided to use that particular context in our paper, try to rearrange and restate the idea based on our own understanding. The second way to avoid plagiarism is make sure we properly quote and paraphrase the context correctly. We can actually use quotes to indicate that the text has been taken from another paper. The quotes should be exactly the way they appear in the paper you've taken from. Besides, we should also use outside evidence and information appropriately. If we use an author's specific words, we must place those words within quotation marks and we must credit the source to avoid plagiarism. Besides that, the third way to avoid plagiarism is we should always properly cite the source we use. Cite the information we use in our paper using in-text citation and reference lists. There are many styles of citation format. The citation style sometimes depends on the academic disciplines involved. For example, there are American Psychological Association, which known as APA style. We also have Modern Language Association, which known as MLA style. And lastly, we also have Chicago or Turabian style. Other than that, we can also use citation software such as EndNote and Reference Manager to maintain records of the source we refer to and manage the citation used for the paper. Use multiple references for the background information survey. For instance, rather than referencing a review, the individual papers should be referred to and cited also. Lastly, we can also use plagiarism checkers after we complete our assignment or paper. Use plagiarism detection tools to check how much of our paper is plagiarized. These tools enables us to check how much of our works is similar with the online sources or other peers' works. There are actually several plagiarism detection tools nowadays, such as Turnitin, Authenticate, and Eterblaze. This can make sure our content is not too much similar with others' paper. So in conclusion, there are several ways to avoid plagiarism. We should use this way wisely to make sure we did not plagiarize others' paper and research. So I have talked about how to avoid plagiarism. Now let's move on to the next discussion.
Hello everyone, my name is Xiang. I will answer the question why, which is the students is good performer during the course of study, like score well in the exam of the quiz. What I would do if I am the Professor Jones and why I do this. First of all, I will don't just let the student go away. The reason is, like the question mentioned, there is the good student. So good students will not have the bad behavior. No, I will not give some tag like good student or bad student. For example, like the student A is the good student, then I does not do some investigation to him and say he is not cheating at the exam or the quiz. And student B is the bad student. He does the plagiarism at the term paper before. So if the student scores the higher mark in the exam or the quiz, he should cheating. We cannot do like this because this is very unfair to every student. And I also cannot be biased. For example, the student helping you do some stuff, then if you feel he cheating and you don't say, oh, he cheating and straight bypass his, this is very unfair to every student also. In conclusion, professor must do some investigation to prove the students does no cheating during the exam or the quiz. Now, I will pass to the next student answer the last questions.
Hi, I'm a reader. I'm going to discuss question 6. Is the student deserve 0 mark in his course just because of the plagiarism in his assignment? Explain. In my opinion, the student will deserve 0 mark in his course because he had involved in plagiarism which is an unethical action and also a serious misconduct. The student had copied another's work without permission or doing any citation. He also just copying, quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing from other sources without marking the materials. In this case, the student must be punished so that he will know his mistake and will not do it again. Because of this action, the other will not trust him anymore in the future. Now, let's go to the conclusion.
Hi, I'm Ziqing again, and I'm going to make a simple conclusion towards this case study. So in conclusion, in this case study 3 copycat, the ethical issue raised from it is plagiarism, and obviously it is an unethical conduct. Just now we have talked about the reasons of the students committing the action of plagiarism and also the ways to avoid plagiarisms. Now I'm going to share about the consequences of plagiarisms. And actually, consequences of plagiarism towards a person is also quite serious. First, the person will be lost trust from others, and this will leave a bad image in others' mind, and maybe afterwards your trust will be lesser in others' mind. Also, the person will fail or get 0 in this particular subject. This is definitely not worth it, right? So we must avoid plagiarism in every single assignment and test. That's all for us. Thank you. And below are the reference which we cite in APA format. Just kindly visit the source for more information. Thank you.